Hi, I'm Carl Buell, and I'm a partner with Continuation Capital with some information about the difference between a Tier 1 and a Tier 2 Regulation A offering. Which one is best for you? Let's find out. I'm going to review the differences between a Tier 1, which is the original Reg A that came out of the Jobs Act and was put into effect in 2015, and Tier 2, otherwise known as Reg A+, which was amended as recently as December of 2018. Regulation A is an exemption to securities registration, and so that's why we refer to it as an IPO light. Let's take a look at the differences. So with Tier 1, the original Reg A, you can raise up to $20 million in any 12-month period. You can target both accredited and non-accredited investors without any limitations. Testing the waters is allowed, and this is one of the great features of both the Tier 1 and the Tier 2. Testing the waters means that you can approach investors with advertising, general solicitation as indicated here, newsletter marketing. You can make presentations to live audiences, social media, digital marketing. What's great about this is that you can approach investors prior to being declared qualified. Once you file that original 1A, it can take anywhere from 30 days if you're extremely lucky to maybe up to 120. So this gives you up to 6 months to approach investors while you're waiting for the SEC to review the offering and declare it as qualified. You only need reviewed financials. There are no ongoing filing requirements. And this is the biggest disadvantage relative to Tier 2. With a Tier 1, there is no state preemption. So what that means is in the United States, we have what are referred to as blue sky laws. And those blue sky laws require the registration of those securities, even the registration of these exempt securities, in every state where you intend to test the waters and every state where you actually accept capital from investors. So the Tier 1 is great for a company that isn't really qualified yet for a Tier 2, hasn't completed these PCAOB audits for 2 years. It allows you to get going for up to $20 million, and then if you're tactically targeting the states where you need to register to, let's say, a handful as opposed to all 50, it can be an efficient process and a great way to get you going. Let's take a look at Tier 2, otherwise known as Reg A+. Now you can raise up to $50 million in any 12-month period. When you file Form 1A with the SEC, you can check continuous offering, which means that you have up to 24 months to keep that offering open. Now keep in mind you can only raise $20 million on a Tier 1 or $50 million on a Tier 2 in any 12-month period. So if you hit your targets before the 24 months has passed, you simply close out the offering. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of timing. Again, up to $50 million with the Reg A+. You can target both accredited and non-accredited investors. It's similar to a Tier 1, but the difference is non-accredited investors, they're going to look at the investment in terms of which is greater, 10% of income or net worth, excluding the residents. So a few limitations on a Tier 2 relative to the Tier 1, but you can raise more money. Similarly, you can use testing the waters to do solicitation and speak to investors prior to being declared qualified by the SEC. You can only do this if you're fully reporting, which means you need 2 years of PCAOB audits to be filed. You do have ongoing filing requirements. And another great advantage of the Tier 2 relative to the Tier 1 is that there is state preemption. So what this means is you do not need to register these securities on a state-by-state basis. You can use testing the waters throughout the entire United States. There are some states that require notice filings, but those are secondary relative to the blue sky requirements of registering the securities offering in every state. So those are the key differences between a Tier 1 and Tier 2. If you're a non-reporting company, obviously do the Tier 1, collect enough funds to start your PCAOB audits, get those done for 2 years, and then move up to a Tier 2 Reg A+ as quickly as possible. Some important things to remember about this video. First of all, do not make decisions based on this information. Information contained in these slides does not constitute legal advice. You should consult your SEC attorney for all information and decisions. If you do not have an SEC attorney, we would be happy to recommend one to you. You can contact me, Carl, at ContinueCap.com. Thanks for watching.